Hey everybody, welcome to My Physical World. Today we are in ArcGIS Pro, and I am going to talk about a device that many people don't even think about anymore. If you are in the graphics art type of thing, you'll definitely know what I'm talking about. If you're in Photoshop or I use Krita, which is a open source free Photoshop type of clone. All right, but I use that device to do artwork and things like that on my maps and stuff that I'm doing, or my Microsoft Flight Simulator scenery development. All right, making textures and things like that. But today, I'm going to give it kind of a rebirth because this technology has been around almost the same length as the personal PC, because I remember having one. I've been doing this for almost 40 years, and we had, back in the day, we didn't have the luxury of doing heads-up digitizing like we do today. We didn't have the availability of online resources of aerial photos or satellite imagery or anything like that. We actually had to have paper copies, and then we had to digitize them. I think most of you know what digitizing is because you do it with your mouse all the time. Well, back in the day, we had big tables that were electromagnetic fields, and you used a device kind of like a mouse, except it was called a puck. And it had a glass lens with crosshairs in it, and you used to trace the map to get the paper maps into a computer. All right, a lot has changed now. Most base maps are already in digital format now, but you might be in the process of creating your own data set with your own proprietary GIS data, right? Okay, well, I'm going to show you maybe a little bit of advantage that a small drawing tablet will give you. Now, I am not sponsored by anybody. In terms of hardware, software, it doesn't matter. Nobody sends me money to plug their devices. But I'm going to tell you the product that I have. And then there are all different types of these tablets around. Now, I have the Wacom 4100 small version. It's only 8 inches by 6.5 inches. It's a small tablet, and it has 4 programmable buttons across the top, and it comes with a pressure-sensitive stylus, and the stylus has 2 buttons on it, plus tapping on the tablet will do a double click. All right, so I can use one button for the right click, one button for the scroll wheel, and then I can double tap it on the tablet for doing a double click left mouse click. All right, or tap it once for left mouse click. All right, but you can program it to do whatever you want, right? Okay. Now, I find it kind of a pain in the butt to have to tap my tablet twice, especially if I'm digitizing something. I don't want to lift my stylus up and screw up what I've done, right? Okay, so I have one of these top buttons programmed as a double click. All right, so if I bring up real quick the tablet properties. This is a Wacom 4100. I programmed the rightmost button on the tablet to be a double click, and then I left the other as a shift, alt, and a control. And then you can set the pressure stuff of your stylus, but that's not the important part of this presentation anyway. Okay, so you can program it any way that you want. Oh, I did forget to show you one other thing. The other thing that I did program to it is the actual tablet mapping itself. Was I configured the tablet to be only on my large 32-inch graphics monitor that I do all my work on. Okay, so I have to, if I want to use my primary screen, monitor number 1, I have to actually use my mouse. But I can use my mouse on both of them. But I can only use the stylus on my large graphics monitor. Plus, I have it set for pen mode and not mouse mode. So it acts like a pen and not a mouse. All right. So those are the setups really. Okay. And that setup software comes when you download the drivers. All right. Now we are in ArcGIS Pro. And I'm going to show you how you can use a simple tablet like this to maybe make your life a little bit easier in some cases. It does take a little while to get used to it, okay? But once, getting used to it using my graphics software, that kind of trains you on how to use it a lot. But for those that are in GIS, you might consider adding some kind of a graphics tablet like this to your arsenal of tools. They're not expensive. Okay, this is the Wacom 4100, and I got it for $60. All right, and this is the small tablet. They have a medium-sized tablet, which is about twice this size, and little less than twice the cost. It's like $99. And then Wacom also has the Pro version, which is twice as large as the medium, and that's about $250 or something like that. All right. And then obviously they make the graphic monitor version where you can actually be drawing on the screen. All right. But those are a computer in themselves, not just a monitor. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I use my tablet in some of my GIS work. So I've been working on this project for a couple years now for some archaeologists, and we're doing some mapping of the Nile system, the Nile River system, and we are digitizing some of the canals, the new canals that have been added to the system. Now, if you look at the Nile, you'll notice, obviously there's the actual Nile River itself that runs up through here, all right? And then you have some other secondary branches that run through the delta, all right? But as you zoom in, you'll notice that there's far more water channels than most people realize. All these red lines are canals dug for irrigation of crops or bringing water to communities. Okay, so here you have a main canal, and then you have some subsidiary canals that run through the geography. All right, now we're in the process of mapping all of those for some archaeological studies and things like that. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how I use the stylus to do some mapping. All right, so we're going to come in down here, and we're doing some heads-up digitizing. Most people know what heads-up digitizing is. Okay, so we have kind of a primary canal that gets piped into this canal, and it kind of comes up through here and then goes up there. All right, so I am in ArcGIS Pro. I have my Nile up. My tablet is active. All right, so now I'm using the stylus, and I can move around the screen. Okay, and I have my buttons. If I do my right mouse button, I can zoom in and out. All right, and if I use the scroll wheel button, which is the bottom button, then I can pan. All right. Now, what I'm going to do is we are going to come over here in edit mode, and we're going to go, I'm going to tap on create, and we're going to come over here to Nile. And in this particular case, we're just going to tap on this simple line here. All right. And I can come down here, and I have my snap. I have, whoops, if I hit escape, I'll stop. I have the snap on. Okay, so I can snap to an edge. All right, but you gotta be careful when you place your cursor. Obviously, all right. It might take you a little get used to, but this is before I would take my mouse. Now I'm on my mouse. All right, and I would click here, and I would click here, and then middle mouse button, scroll, find the center, you know, like this, and then when I get to the end, I double click, right? Okay, but with the stylus, you can do the same thing. All right, so we're going to come down here, and I'm going to, whoops, I missed. There we go. All right, so I click there, and then I'm just tapping. I'm just tapping the tablet, and then I'm pressing my button, scrolling my screen. Okay, so we see that you can do your mapping with the stylus. All right. Now, when you're doing a whole bunch of straight lines, if you're doing straight lines like this, you know, a mouse is just fine. All right. There's nothing wrong with using a mouse. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to end this line right here. So I'm going to hit the double click key that I have set up. All right. I just hit one key and it does a double click and it ends my line there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you using the freestyle. Okay. I'm going to click the freestyle, and I'm going to come down to the beginning part of this line, and then I'm just going to trace that line just like this. All right. And then when I get to the end, I'm just going to hit my double click key. All right. So I didn't have to push a button, okay, every time I wanted a vertex. All right. It automatically records a certain number of vertexes as I'm digitizing. All right. So you can get fairly accurate in your drawing, okay, in your cartography here. All right. So you can actually follow the course, because some of these canals in the Nile River are actually, some of them are natural and some of them are man-made. All right, so this particular area right here that I just used the freestyle or freehand drawing tool in ArcGIS Pro. I didn't have to wear my finger out by clicking a whole bunch of vertices. It uses a weed tolerance and records a vertice every so often. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'll just come over here and tap on save these edits, and then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to tap on edit vertices, and notice that there all the vertices get recorded. All right, and that's using the stylus. All right, so it automatically puts all of this curve data into your freehand digitizing. All right. Now, let's find another use. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom out here, and we're going to come over to one of these lakes over here, and we're going to zoom in. Here we go. All right, we'll pan that down. All right, now here's something that's cool. Let's go to our view, and let's do a catalog pane. And let's come over here to databases, go to my Nile River, click that, click this, and we're going to right click, and I'm using the right click on the stylus to do this. Now I could use my mouse if I wanted to. We're going to do new, and then we're going to do new feature class, and we're going to call this, and I'm just making stuff up here, call it lake. All right, and I'm not going to add in any attributes. I'm not going to bore you with all that, but we're going to finish that. So we have a new feature class in our project. All right, now I'm going to go into, I'm going to change the symbology, and I want the, let's see, how do I want this? Let's see. Let me undo this for a second. I want to feature layer, I want appearance. We're going to make this 50% transparency. And now I'm going to click and change its color. And we're going to change its color to this lighter blue. And we're not going to have an outline color. We're just going to leave that like that. We're going to go ahead and apply. Now I'm going to go into edit, and I'm using my mouse. I use my mouse and my stylus, you know, for clicking buttons and stuff. You know, the mouse is a lot easier. But for the drawing, I like the drawing using the stylus. Okay, so we're going to go to create, and then we're going to come over here to our new feature class, and I am going to select the freehand drafting, basically. All right, now I'm going to take my stylus. I have my stylus. I'm going to find a beginning point, and I'm just going to press on the map, and I'm going to follow that coastline as well as I can. Now I'm not going to get it perfect. All right, I'm not for this. Not for this. All right. Whoops, I screwed up. That's always a disadvantage of doing this stuff live. All right, let me go this direction. All right, so here I am, and we are just following the coastline. Now, like I said, I'm not going to try to get this perfect. All right, but we're just going to kind of come around, and I'm not lifting my cursor up at all. All right. I am leaving it on the tablet as I come around. Whoops, I screwed that up. Come around here. All right. And I'm getting the basic shape of the water. Okay. Now I'm going to generalize this area a little bit here. All right. Now I'm almost to the end. So I'm just going to hit the double click button that I have programmed. And so using the freehand, now you can do that. You can do freehand with a mouse as well. Okay. But I like the stylus because it gives a natural feel. You know, you can sit here and do it like this, you know. It gives you a natural feel. All right. So that is using the stylus of the Wacom tablet to do your digitizing. Okay. Using the tablet does get a little bit, it takes a little bit to get used to it. All right. Because most of us are used to using a mouse for years. All right. But back in the olden days, we didn't use mice. We used pucks on digitizers. All right. And we had styluses back then too, just like this. But I give digitizing these small tablets a kind of a rebirth in the GIS data creation. Okay. So like I said, It's and you can do your, you know, every time I tap on the screen, it puts a vertice. I'm just hitting a bunch of dots. All right. I mean, you can use that. You can use it any way that you want. All right. Now I'm not going to do this whole thing, but we're just going to come down here, and then let's say I'm ending there. I just hit my double. I have a button programmed for double click, and it sends it back to the beginning. All right. Plus, you can still use your autofill tool. So if I wanted to add another section, let's say I'm doing some kind of research, and these are research plots or something like that, you know, I can come in here and say, yeah, we measured this field or this part of the water up to this point, and I can come across here, and then I can double click here, and then it automatically closes that polygon. All right. So it used the shared line between the two, and then auto finished that polygon. All right. So I probably made this video longer than it really needed to be, but that is using a Wacom 4100 drawing tablet with ArcGIS Pro. Like I said, there's $60 for this version, $99 for the medium version, and a couple $100 for the Wacom Pro. All right. Anyway, that's kind of your tip for the week. And if you guys are using digitizing tablets, if you guys are using, put them in the comments of the video. Let people know that tablets are still alive and well and useful. And if you want to say what else you use your tablet for in your GIS work, please leave a comment. I hope you guys all subscribe. If you like to support me on this channel, you can buymeacoffee.com/myphysicalworld. And I also have a map store at myphysicalworld.gumroad.com. So go check some of the maps I've made there, and I will be putting some free stuff up there in the future. But anyway, thanks for joining, and I hope your ArcGIS Pro days are going well, and I will see you guys on the next video. See you later.